Okay. Hi, I'm Kate and welcome to my channel. So I just thought I would film a little getting ready with me video using a few new products that I have. For the last few videos I have been featuring the new Nomad palette. This is the America's Parks palette. I've really enjoyed this so far. I've done green looks, I've done golden looks, I've done a couple warm tone looks, did a purpley smoky eye, so I've really gotten quite a bit of variety out of this palette so far. And then the other new thing I have is the Halo Moon collection from Devinah. Now, like from some angles these just all look like the same white shadows, but I hope you can pick up the different shifts. I'm gonna swatch these. I'm just gonna pop these out so I can say the shade names as I go and then pop them in. And these shadows are really soft, so you have to be kind of careful with them, but this is my first try with Devinah, and I don't really have any like super iridescent shadows, so I thought this would be a good way to try the brand. But I'm just gonna show one at a time. So this is Marama. So I don't even know how to describe that, but it's really fun. They are quite flaky. So like when I look at it on my hand I see purple, but then when I look at it up here I see kind of a greenish tone. That's really fun. Right after that I have the shade Proteus. And this one from some angles looks kind of green, and then I also see gold, I also see pinkish purple. So the Proteus. Next up is Zira. I used this in a look yesterday. So from some angles it's very white. From this angle I see kind of a greenish shade, but then I also see like a really vibrant orange. I really hope these show up nice on camera. Alright, so that was Zira. The next one is Aylin. And again, like when I swatch it, it's mostly white. Very flaky, but then this one has a really kind of pinky purple reflect to it. Esmeralda, and this one kind of is a little orangey red, probably the flakiest of them all. So I will definitely use these over a glitter primer. I used Esmeralda and Zira yesterday in a look. I'll post that up here. I couldn't really capture it in a photo, but they're beautiful. And then the last shade is Nokomis, which made me think Minnesota because we have a Lake Nokomis here in Minneapolis. And this one is very purpley, I guess more bluish too. So, okay. So there are the 6 Halo Moon shades from Devinah. And I'm super excited about these. Like when I look at it head on, I see one color, and then when I flip it this way, I see a whole nother color, which is really, oh, I hope it picks up on camera. But I think I'm also gonna keep using the Nomad palette today, so I'm gonna go off camera, fill in my brows, prime my eyes, and I'll be back. All right, so I'm having like a confusing time because when I look at my hand, the top shade looks very pinky purple, the second shade looks green. But then when I flip it this way and look in the mirror, this top shade looks green and this shade looks gold. So I don't know what I'm going to use today. But I am going to dive in, I think, and start building up the purple shade because I haven't used it other than kind of that smoky eye that I did. So I'm just going to start building that up, and that is the shade South Rim. And I would say out of the mattes in here, this is the one that's like the least soft. So it doesn't feel quite as much as like the typical Nomad formula as the others, which is fine. It still blends nicely. But I'm just gonna start out here and just kind of buff it around. Like so. And the only thing that this palette doesn't have a lot of is lighter mattes to buff things out with, but I have been pulling the Nomad Tokyo palette and that's been working well. There's a lot of really nice lighter shades in there to buff things out, so I might grab that today, especially working with these darker mattes and just not having anything to buff them out. Although Nomad's mattes are pretty soft, so even with just an empty brush, these colors do buff out on their own without needing that lighter shade. Okay, so that's that shade. So I'm trying to debate if I want to do like a purpley green, since this top shade kind of goes from pinky purple to green. Do I want to put any green in there? Maybe. But you know, instead of using the green that's in the America's Park, I'm gonna go into the Tokyo palette and grab like the minty green. And I'm just on the same brush using the color switch. And then I'm gonna start to just build that up here. I'll probably have to go back into that purple, which is fine. These are probably the best pastels I've tried. This palette and the Shroud Creepy Cute have the best pigment of pastels that I have tried. Now I'm gonna pack that in on the lid as well. So I figure since this is not a review of the America's Park palette, I don't mind bringing something else in to work along with it. Whereas if I'm like reviewing something or giving my first impressions, I want to use that palette by itself. But I suppose this is a bit of a first impressions with the Devinah shadows. Even though I used them, I used 2 of them in a look yesterday. Went out to the Mall of America with a friend and actually got quite a few compliments on my makeup. It looked beautiful in person, but I just could not pick it up in a picture, which was really frustrating. All right, I'm gonna dip back into that deep purple and just kind of build it back up out here. All right, it looks a little crazy right now. Okay, well, I don't know how well those colors go together, but that's fine. So I'm just gonna keep it pretty simple with those 2 shades. I'm gonna go in with my NYX glitter primer. I'm still kind of trying to decide which shades. I think I'll go with those first 2 shades, which were Marama and Proteus, but I don't know where I'll put each one. So I'm gonna grab some glitter primer just on my finger and tap that where I'm gonna wanna put those shades, almost in a cut crease style. And then just kind of tap it out with a dry finger. And while it's still tacky, I'm going to start with Marama, however it is said, and I'm going to tap that on in the front. Okay, from this angle it looks totally green. Okay, and then on the outer part I'm going to grab Proteus, which looks totally green in the pan, but kind of golden on the lid. But both of them have like a purpley shift to it, so I don't know. We shall see how they work together. But they are super flaky. You can see some fallout on my face, but that's okay. That's why I do my face last. All right, so don't worry, I will clean up the edges in a bit. It's all over my shirt too. All right, so this is definitely, if you're using these, don't get dressed first and don't do your face first. All right, so going in with the glitter primer, we put it where I want it, and then I tap it out with a dry finger, but leave it tacky. Going in with that first shade. I don't know if you can see how it just, oh, it's so pretty, but it's just so flaky. All right, and then the second shade out here. Alright, I don't know how that looks on camera. I think I need to go back in just with that purple, kind of buff things out a little bit. And of course that's picking up the shimmer. And drag that above the crease a little bit. I'm gonna drag that purple on the crease a little more. I think I'm good there. So again, not a really complicated look. Yeah, I just have that glitter all over my face though, which is fine. Okay, so should I stop there in the lid? Alright, so I think I'm going to stop here on the lid. I don't know what kind of dimension shows on camera. Like, I use this shade, which when I look in the mirror it looks green, but when I look at it, like just with my eyes on the shade, it looks purple. But I don't see any purple on the eye, at least looking in the mirror. So I'm not sure what's going to show up on camera. And then on the outside, that shade looks green when I look here. It looks gold when I look here. It looks pink when I look here. All I can see right now is gold, which is fine. But I'm going to stop there. I'm going to go off camera and put on all of my skincare face products, and I'll be back to finish up with the shadows. Alright, so I'm back. I went in with all of my face products. For foundation, I went in with the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Foundation. Concealer, still using the Rare Beauty, and bronzer and blush, both from Patrick Ta today. So, dipping back in, I'm going to go back into the purple and start to build that up on the lower lash line. Alright, and then I'm gonna hop into the other Nomad palette and grab the minty green and build that up here. Then in the waterline, I'm going in with the ColourPop liner in the shade Call Me. I will cut this out of the video though, because I have to get quite close. And then inner corner, let's see, should I use another Devinah? Maybe I'll go in with that first shade again. Just trying to be very careful not to let it get everywhere. I don't know if you can see how sparkly my shirt is, but all right, so I got some on there and I'm gonna really tap it off and then put that right there in the inner corner. So again, get some on the brush, tap it off very strongly. And then tap it here. I think I'm gonna stop there with eyeshadows. Again, like, I hope that this shows up as fun as it looks in person on camera. I just don't know how much you can pick up the shifts and the iridescence and all that. But these shadows do make a mess. So again, don't do your face and then put these on. Oh, they're just so pretty. Like, but I see totally different colors when I look at my hand and then when I see it in the mirror, which is kind of cool. Alright, I'm gonna go off camera, do some liner and mascara, find a lip, and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back with the final look. What do we think? So all I really see in the mirror is like mint to gold. I'm not sure if any of the other shifts of these shades pick up. I did wash my hand off already. Yeah, these are the Devinah Halo Moon. You can see it's already kind of a mess in this palette, which is fine. These are super flaky. They're super pretty, but super flaky. So if you're going to use these, definitely do your eyes first, just so you can wipe whatever you need to away. Mattes from Nomad. I love Nomad's mattes. Probably my favorite matte formula. And for lips, went in with my #1 favorite lip formula, the YSL Matte Lip Stain, and this is shade 16. I have 3 of them now. I picked up one for my wedding, shade 25, Beige Secret, and ended up mixing it with this shade because it was a little too light, and then it ended up not mattering anyway because I was in a mask for half the day. But there you go, final look. I'm really excited about these Devinah shadows. Again, it's my first try with Devinah, so now I have 6 more spots I need to fill up in my little palette, so we'll see what comes out next, or if people have recommendations of things to try, let me know. That's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I'll see you soon.